Medicine show. We are Monday night on a day off on 2 tours here in Nairn at the Havelock Hotel, which was party to the party and very much over the weekend. It's been Belladrum weekend, but this has been happening in here as well, Tony, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't know where I am.
You don't actually know where you are, do you?
I'm in Scotland. No, it's been great. We've been having a great time.
Tony and Robbie joined me from Tremolock, who, what's your first, I mean, it is a first impression, isn't it? Your first time in Scotland?
It's not my first time in Scotland.
No, but for the band.
For the band, yeah.
Yeah.
Both individually here a few times, but not with the band.
Yeah.
The first impression was wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful people, great festival, and thankfully really good crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody dancing.
That's all you can ask, eh? Well, it's dance music, Robbie, eh?
This is my first time here in Scotland.
Yeah.
Wonderful. It's amazing. It's super nice. We love it. It's great. And Belladrum Festival was something else.
Yeah.
It was exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah. And from my point of view, it's a joy to be able to introduce to your kind of music to my people. But they got it. They got it even if they didn't know they were getting it, didn't they?
We knew it. And here have like they got it as well. They had a wonderful time.
Yeah.
And we're able to sort of do a tribute to Flacco.
Well, and it blows my mind. I mean, Flacco, I got to see him once later on in his life, and he was frail. But man, it was like it was back in the Texas tornadoes. It was amazing.
Well, as I said in one of my posts, there wouldn't be a Los Lobos or Tremolock or any of that without Flacco and Ricky and all the boys.
No, he kicked the doors down for you guys. Eh?
Sure did.
Yeah.
So.
Ry Cooder's got a lot to do with it as well. Eh?
Yeah,
Libby?
we've worked with him quite a number of times. And, I was able to sit down with him, talk to him for a bit.
Yeah.
He'd always give me encouragement and also help me learn how to fix accordions too.
Is that
well,
right?
my accordions while I'm on the road because there's not that many people that fix accordions, so I got to learn how to fix them if something breaks on them. So it's a little hectic.
So we can officially say you got your apprenticeship under, if not playing, but definitely fixing accordions.
It's a great advice.
Yeah. Well, it's a sad day and his passing, and extraordinary that you should be in my hometown and friends of Flacco on that particular day. Really extraordinary for me.
He was an amazing person, and like you said, true trailblazer.
Yeah.
Really generous. He loved playing. Rob doesn't. One of the few that don't really emulate him that much. He has his own style. Right?
Yeah.
Flacco recognized that. Told Rob, don't do what I'm doing. He
So,
love what he's doing. So
right.
that's the biggest compliment.
Yeah, that's the
Rob
biggest compliment.
Ever got.
Yeah.
And so now, what he's learned about fixing accordions and all that, it'll help. When Rob looks at me and goes, flat tire. It'll look a shock, which is a busted reed. So he knows how to fix the thing.
So you're over at Robbie. Your style of playing, is that coming through a long tradition of
It is
in
because
Texas?
I learned traditional Tex-Mex on a conjunto tejano through Leonel Pulido.
Yeah.
Roberto Pulido is classical, and that's where I got my start from. And it's pretty much all I ever knew. And when I met Tony, that he helped me out a lot and introduced me to a lot of diverse music where it was just I was.
Because you're kind of where you are. We're in Houston, really, aren't we?
Yeah.
So you're right in the mixing pot in Houston, eh? You're just as close as you can get to Louisiana as well as Mexico. Yeah.
And you know, my whole mission back then was to mix Mexican and country music together. So it's a little bit different. It's sort of calling it Americana. We knew that's what we took for that.
Yeah.
You know, but we'll probably describe this.
That's what I like about it, to tell you the truth.
He's done a lot about shuffle.
Yeah.
You knew about Texas music, country music, even the Gulf Coast stuff.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just really intimidating with it. So
It's fabulous having you here, guys. Thanks for joining us. You are with me, Rob Ellen. It's our Monday medicine show. We're doing this on the hoof. I hope you can hear it fine. We're in the bar, of course. We're having a hurricane party.
Scottish weather.
We just ordered the weather up for the Texans, but we were blowing in the door and it's blowing up a hoolie. We'd say a hoolie here outside. So we've retired to the bar for obvious reasons. Where's next?
We are going to Amsterdam next. Malloy Mellow, is it? Malloy Mellow, I believe is what it's called.
Yeah. Is that a bar at a festival? Or?
No, it's a Tex-Mex.
Oh, there's an actual Tex-Mex place. They do. You can get anything you want in Amsterdam. Anything you want in Amsterdam. It's all available. Yeah. That's so cool. I wish I was going there. So that's Amsterdam next.
And then we move over to Switzerland next.
Yeah.
And that is Eisenberg, I believe it's pronounced.
Eisenberg, yeah.
Eisenberg. And then we have the SA Music Bar. After that, we have the Herschen Gastro Pub.
Yeah.
And then our last show is going to be at the British Corner in Rupert, Switzerland.
Nice.
So we have 4 dates in Switzerland before we head back to the States.
Yeah. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you with us, guys.
Will you have us back? By yourself?
As soon as bloody possible is what is right, and hopefully you've made enough friends to bring it all back as well. And thanks. Right, I'm going to go and talk to Jeff. I'm going to go and talk to Jeff. How did you come about? How did it come about? Jeff ended up in your band because he's been in everybody's band right back to the year dot. Jerry, Jeff, and yeah. Oh, so he's an LA dude, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. 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 He started then. He hasn't finished yet, is it? Yeah. Yeah. I know, that is.
You need to get in on these stories.
But Michael O'Connor's soaking it up, eating it up. And Libby as well. Yeah. Key moment in time. Well, thanks for bringing him, man. I mean, what a player. Just an astounding human being. Well, again, go by. Yeah, and he doesn't, there's no airs and graces about it. It's not as if he's as humble a human being as I've ever met. Yeah. And as good a musician as I've ever met. So that's what we're doing. We'll go over and talk to Jeff. Jeff, thanks very much, guys. Happy trails till we meet again. Tremolock here in the wonderful Havelock Hotel in Nairn, which runs music 3 nights a week. And all this weekend has been pretty much running music of Texas all weekend. Guys, we're broadcasting and we have an audience. This is my friend Libby Koch, who many will be aware of.
We're having a hurricane.
We've introduced it as such.
Winds like this in Southern California, but they're usually hot.
Yeah. No, these come in. This is coming in from the Arctic Circle. They never get hot. No. Well, actually, we'll be coming in from the Atlantic. But there you go. No, we had a tornado once here, right, in Nairn. Actual tornado. It touched down and it turned over 2 caravans, right, in the caravan park over here. And I was in Bath in the West Country of England, and it made the 9 o'clock news that there was a tornado. And that's my hometown. There's a tornado came right across the beach here and turned over 2 caravans, and that made the 9 o'clock news. So to say we have tornadoes isn't true. But once here, yeah.
You have gypsies. Roma gypsies.
Yeah.
Not travel.
Well, you met one on. You might have met on Grand Cane, Kelly, who was the singer-songwriter in Grand Cane, just after you were on Saturday. He's a Roma original gypsy. Well, his people, the Romas came down through Norway in our occasion, but they were originated. And what they did in the 17th century, unlike now, where they're kind of chastised and chased from place to place, in those days they had the skills, the metallurgy skills, so they could make people swords and weaponry and keep them sharp. So they wanted them, they needed them in those days. Yeah.
I also hang out with gypsies.
Nice.
Have you read the book Very Many Standards? Yeah. Yeah. Is that the one that's about the what's the reason why they think different? Yeah. You know, like this little money street. That's it. Yeah. That's the one that's about
Have you got a book, Jeff? You've written a book. Have you written a book yet?
I've read so many.
No, written it. Yeah. You have got the stories.
All my road stories.
Yeah. I'll order it now if it's there. Soon as you're ready to start selling it, I'll order one.
Have you ever been this kid? He's incredible. He's an astronaut. I think he's an Indian, but he has a
Yeah.
Perfect. I did. Well, I have a story about Leo Finner and how I met Leo Finner, and Brad Paisley put, Zach Childs. Yeah, he was Brad's guitar tech. He was good guitar tech. Brad told him, and I think John Jorgensen also told him. So he gives me a call, and he did like a 2-hour phone interview with me. And then, like, as soon as it's done, he does his show. He was either recording me or he's got a mind like a steel trap, because he only missed a couple of things and they weren't important. But what happened was this is 1981, and I was playing in a country band at this place called the Fandango in Southern California. It's, Route 66, San Bernardino, Pomona. That's the area I grew up in. And the owner of the club wanted to do like a live TV show from there and have like country celebrities, but he didn't want to pay a lot of money, so he looked around to find someone within his budget, and he found Barbie Benton, the girl from that was Hugh Hefner's girlfriend. She turned out to be a sweetheart. She was actually not bad. Well, the bass player frontman of the band knew Leo. And this is right when Leo and George Fullerton, who was the G of G&L, started G&L.
And the bass player's name was Jerry Johnson, and he called Leo up. He said, "Leo, we're doing a TV show. Why don't you bring some of your new instruments out to play on the TV show?" Well, the first thing that happens before we start, Barbie she saw me talking to Leo, so she wants me to bring him over to the table. Now here's the stage and this is the dance floor. They're sitting at a table right at the edge of the dance floor. And Leo and Phyllis, his wife, George Fullerton and Lucille, their vice president Dale Hyatt and his wife, and their rep Vern and his wife. I can't remember their name. So I take Barbie over there, and she gets about this far. I'm telling Leo Fenderson.
Oh, you're going to tell them where you're house switching.
House switch? I mean .com. She gets about this far from him, and she goes, so you're really offended, huh? Because, yeah, she turns around, and arches her back and sticks her butt in his face. She goes, "How do you like my Fender?"
No way.
And, you know, he falls, and the floor turns red, and everybody at the table is laughing at him. Oh, great. He'll be thanking me for this late. Well, what happened? We go on stage and start taping, and I'm up there for 2.5 hours with this freaking pain. I'm a telly guy. Volume, tone, switch. This thing had a advanced degree in particle physics to match it. And the more I'm stuck with it. We promised we'd play these guitars. And you know, and I'm wanting to get him good with a guy. But now I'm going, what am I going to tell him? You know? But as time.
You got it right the first time, Leah.
Yes.
Right?
Well, that was the big blowout. I'll get to that. Before the automatic off switch. As time progressed doing this taping, I'm hating it more and more. I'm actually getting pissed off that I'm actually stuck with this. And it's active electronics. So it has this kind of hard nasal sound to it. So what am I going to tell them? I'm going to tell them the truth. Here's my audience with the king. So we finished the first part.
So what year was this?
1981.
Okay.
It was February of 1981.
So you just introduced.
And the reason why I know is because they taped it, and I've got a DVD copy of it that says right on it, you know, February 1981.
Sorry.
So I walk over, and there's a chair, a vacant chair next to Leo on his right, and I sit down, and Leo goes, "So what did you think of the guitar?" And they all leaned in.
Nice.
Oh my God.
I swallowed hard. And I go, "Well, sir, I really want to know my opinion. This is the worst guitar I've ever played in my life."
I'd say you flattered it right.
Yeah. And he snapped up like I slapped him in the face with a wet rag. And he goes, "Well, why?" Well, I started enumerating the complaints, but every time I would say something, he would snap back at me.
Jesus.
And then I would, and literally the tension started to build, and the voices got louder, you know, and I'm having
just the guitar player.
I'm the only one that came over and gave a report, so in the back of my mind, there's this little tug of war with Jeff, that's Leo Fender. You know, I don't care. He's a stubborn old goat. And this is going on in my brain, right?
And that new Telecaster by this time is gone. Eh? So you're not going to get that.
I couldn't play anything. We promised him we'd play.
Yeah.
What was that called? An S5, an F5.
Yeah.
I hated it. And so we're arguing, you know, and I'm looking around the table, And everybody's sitting there wide-eyed because nobody has ever done this to Leo.
Yeah. It's like,
and that's further down the line. I'll get to that. So then I said the phrase, just put him on the move. I said, Leo, if you want my opinion, and I said, all my guitar player buddies, because this is what we talk about.
Yeah.
The guitars that Fender and Gibson were making throughout the 70s were shit. We didn't want those. Yeah. And that's basically what started the vintage instrument.
You wanted the 50 sound.
Yeah. And so I said, looking straight in the eye, I said, Leo, if you would just go back, to what you had in the late 40s and early 50s, you'd sell a million. And he got pissed off, and that pissed me off that he didn't. And so I said, well, fine, I've given you my 2 cents. That's all I said. And I got up and stomped away from the table. And I went over to the bar. And I was standing there spilling in my own juices, right? Yes. And George Fullerton gets up from the table.
George being his George Fullerton.
He's the G of G. He was Fender's right-hand man from the inception of Fender's music.
Yeah.
And that guy, what's that place that we were staying at, the Gallatin or something, next to his building?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
So the guy that owns it reminds me of George Fulton.
Is that right? Yeah.
He gets up from the table, he comes over and puts his arm around me, kind of fatherly.
Yeah.
And he goes, I understand what you're saying. Because I found out later that George was the retro guy down there, and he was urging Leo
to stay
to do some of the same things, not quite the way I did.
Yeah.
But he goes, but you have to understand something about Leo Fender. He fancies himself as a pioneer, and rightly so.
Yeah.
And the last thing he wants to hear about is going back.
Yes.
And I said, well, that's all good, fine. I'm sticking like I hate that club.
Yeah.
I said, I'm doing a session tomorrow. If you leave it with Jerry, I'll try it where I've got more of a chance to answer. So I did, and I hated it even more.
So what guitar, what axe have you got now? What's the one you got with us now?
So that's a retro. And it's a retro.
Yeah.
They were smart enough. They saw the market.
Yeah.
They weren't trying to be all progressive.
Yeah.
The Fender Jag, knobs and switches. That was Leo's jumping off.
Yeah.
He wanted to continue.
Well, it kind of did all right for him, mate.
Well,
him and Jimi Hendrix.
For a while, he didn't like Jimi. He didn't even know who Jimi Hendrix was.
Nice.
They told me a story about that. And when he heard Jimi Hendrix, he was a country guy.
Yeah.
And he first marketed his guitars to country players.
Yeah.
And he would go out to nightclubs in the late 40s and 50s. And his principal guy was Jimmy Bryant. Jimmy Bryant got a broadcast. So I thought, well, I've blown any chance of getting.
No, it's an endorsement gone.
Now here's the funny thing.
Right.
6 months ago, and I'm just that. Leo Fender calls Jerry Johnson, the leader of the band.
Yeah. Which band's this, if you don't mind?
It was called the Jerry Johnson.
Okay.
Well, I had quit not too long after the Fender incident. And Leo Fender calls Jerry Johnson wanting my number. He goes, well, Jeff's no longer playing with me, and I have a number, but I checked out his phone number. But he gave him my Leo Fender calls my parents. My mom answers the phone. Typical mom for that generation.
Yeah.
My mom's from
Yeah.
Mr. Fender, you sound like a nice man, but I don't know who you are, and I can't give you Jeff's phone number.
Yeah.
he goes, but you said something about the Fandango, and I know that Jeff is playing down the street tonight at a place called Little.
Yeah.
Now, this is all unbeknownst to me.
Yeah.
And I show up at the Little Pub a little early. There's nobody in there, and Buck, the bartender, is in the back room filling bottles, you know?
Yeah.
And here's the stage at the Little Pub. There's a south door and a north door. And right as you walk in the south door, there's a horseshoe booth table.
Yeah. I
walk into the south door. There's Leo, Dale, and George, and Vern. No one.
All of them. Yeah.
Sitting at this table, and on the table is a guitar case. That was the weirdest. I wasn't expecting this at all.
Yeah.
Here they all sit, and they've got their suits on, you know.
They've had a good old talk about you, haven't they?
And they see me, and they just. And I was expecting Rod Serling to step out of the tent. Submitted for your approval.
Yeah.
Jeff Ross just entered the twilight zone.
Yeah.
I'm going, what are you guys doing here? He's like, we've got a guitar we want you to see. Oh, no. And they go, no. Try it. And took it out of the case, and it had kind of a shrunken scrap body. It had two pickups, volume and a tone, and a switch.
Nice.
And then there was this little toggle switch, like one of those little switchcraft things like you see on PRS. And I immediately go, what's that? And I said, no, it's passive. And what it did, it added a little bit of sparkle to the rhythm pickup. Because you know what I'm telling you, sometimes the rhythm pickup's too woofy and the bridge pickup's too bright. This, you could set your tone knob.
So they thought about that.
For the back pickup.
Yeah.
And then when you kicked it to the front pickup, if it's too woofy, you could just hit that. It was perfect. It was really good. And I'm just flabbergasted that these guys are here. And so they let me take the guitar and they invited me down to the shop.
Yeah.
And so I started a relationship with him. And Leo was like my grandpa. But sometimes he would call me like at 7 o'clock to talk about going fishing. And I'm like, this is amazing, but I didn't get to bed till 4:30. So why does he have to call me at 7? See, there was always this thing with him, you know. But I would go down to the shop, and then he was gonna buy a van and then load it up with G&L guitars, and I was gonna do clinics, you know. And so I started getting good with these people, and then Dale and George told me for that 6 months. You know, after the initial meeting, he said, you know, he walked around this shop muttering and sputtering and cursing your name. And who does that Jeff Ross think he is? Well, what happened was George worked on it, and he realized that I was the first guy in his whole, since he got famous, that looked him in the eye and said, that's a piece of shit, and it's not going to fly. And what helped them was they started getting feedback from the dealers. Saying the exact same things. But I told him that he wound up respecting me. You know?
It was the Emperor's New Clothes.
To be impeccable with your words.
Yeah, it was that you were the child that said, but he's naked.
But see, people would do, you know, they would kiss his ass on me, and they said that after decades of it, he became acutely aware.
Yeah.
Let me skip over some things to the NAMM show. Yeah, I know James.
Yeah.
And 1 year at the NAMM show, he sees.
What's the NAMM show?
The National Association of Music Merchants, the huge convention they have every year at the Anaheim Convention Center.
All right.
Or at the Convention Center. It's huge.
So this is the palace that Leo Fender built.
Pretty much. I mean, the NAMM show was like
Les Paul
tables with crepe paper over it, you know, and a guitar on a stand. But it's built into this huge thing. People come from all over the world. And it's, I love it, but it's difficult. Yeah. And sometimes on a Saturday, it's so hard to move it.
Yeah.
These huge rooms, kind of tight with people.
With guitarists.
And back in the 70s and 80s, when the tapping was just one room with all the spread. It sounded like a turkey leg. It was nuts. So, after the you see Bert now, he's all, Jeff, I know you're working with Leo over at G&L.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, man. He goes, man, can you fix it so I can get an instrument? Oh, come on. Well, you don't need
James Burton.
You're James. He was in all the finger catalog. He goes, oh, no, man, you set it up for me.
Yes.
And see, my meeting with James Burton was another story. I don't think he's still alive, so I don't want to. But he's a lovely guy, but he's got some words. That's off the record.
No, it's not. It's already on the internet.
I'm feathering my cap, and I just come from the G&L booth, but I turned around and I went back over there, and I walk in and I'm all, hey guys, I got James Burton. James Burton wants to come over.
Yeah.
And Dale Hyatt's. I would give that guy the
That's why. Yeah.
That's why he wanted to go.
Yeah.
Leo comes over and starts telling us, you know,
it didn't work.
Leo called him, and this is all off the record.
Well, it can be. Watch out. You're being interneted.
Okay. Yeah. James, I won't tell you what Leo called, but James likes to get stuff and put it in his band. He'll sign a paper, but he won't enter his agreement. He'll never play. And everybody's giving him stuff.
Yes, that's right.
So
it's not the same for you, though. You're getting that endorsement you were particularly needing at your point in your career, I would imagine.
And see, Leo was. They didn't have a custom store.
Yeah.
And it was hard for me to get what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I wanted a G&L ASAC classic. I wanted a big. Well, Leo and Paul Bigsby were like Cobra and Onyx. Oh, they hated each other because Paul Bigsby accused Leo of stealing Strat headstock from him.
Okay.
Leo said, no, I got those from a Croatian musical instrument. So here I am. I want a Bigsby.
Yeah.
And once again, the veins stick out and the flame's red. He goes, why do you want that? Why can't you use my tremolo system? The whole frame. When you do the pedal steel notes, you enter 2 notes, and then that chips up every so slightly and throws the whole floor. And he didn't really get that.
Was he a guitarist himself, Leo?
No.
He wasn't.
Leo, no, he was. Leo could stumble through wildwood flowers.
I wish I could. I'd understand that.
I think he could play a little rap steel, but no, he wasn't playing. Because and Leo was a drummer.
Yeah. That's why I've got that.
I asked him why, and he said, I want the guy in the back of the auditorium
to hear it.
To hear it as clearly as he does.
Yeah.
But I said, well, now the guy in the front row's ears are.
Yes. Yes.
See, I just let it all hang out. So what was I just talking about?
Yeah. Oh, you wanted the victory, yeah, thanks.
Now this is years later. This is when he's in the car. He has Parkinson's. And he lived near this famous country western nightclub called Crazy in Newport Beach. He lived about a mile from there. The Bellamy's were coming to town to play at the Crazy.
Yeah. And you played with them, the Bellamy's. Yeah.
So I reserved the table, and it was like the first time it was Fandango. Leo and all
Yeah.
right in front of And I told him, I said, I'm going to play your guitar with your tremolo system. And I'm going to do the pedal steel. And I said, you will hear why. I'll see a Bigsby has a vertical swing.
Yeah.
And when you
is that like a B-bender?
Well, no, a B-bender is entirely different thing.
All right. Sorry.
You can run Bigsby, and it won't move that string, so it won't push the string, so they don't go out of tune.
Yeah.
And so Delany's called off a song that I played pedal steel, and
yeah,
I hit a chord that just and
this is
the brothers turned around and gave me the finger. I saw the look on Leo's face. All right,
yeah.
So I went over and talked to them. They thought, you have to buy a Bigsby. I'll be damned if I give that son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And he customized it for you.
Well, he started.
Yeah.
He started making a bridge that you can't slap a Bigsby on a bridge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he had started making a bridge, but he was descending. And one of the last times I came to town, I had real long hair, and I had cut it short like a rocket.
Yeah.
And I walked into his little workroom, and he's sitting there, and he's got that famous visor in the pocket, and he's sitting there hunched over, and he's drooling, but he's tinkering and drooling, And I come around on his left side, and he looks up at me. He sounded like mumbles and Dick Tracy. You look like Elvis Presley. And that was the last audible word that I ever heard. So after that, it was like, he would go, like that. And Dale said, Leo wants to know where you want to go for lunch.
So you translate.
How did you get that from him? So, but the band that I was playing, we played the Los Lobos and the Blasters at the Palace. What band was that? It was called Levi. And Levi had a British band called Levi and the Rockets. And Dave Edmonds took, what's the famous quote? So Dave Edmonds took the Stray Cats before they were called the Stray Cats to see Levi and the Rockets. I think the Stray Cats were called the Bloodless Terror.
Jesus.
And so Levi and the Rockets were the impetus for the Stray Cats. Well, Levi came out to California, and I wound up, John Jorgensen and I both wound up, everybody called Levi Big Ben because we had, I don't know if you know Bob Roberts, famous tattoo guy, or he played saxophone with others. And so we had a section, and John arranged all these big band parts, like bum ba dum bum bum, and I was playing non-pedal lap steel at the time, and so we'd have 3-chord harmonies with Bob Roberts on sax, John on sax for guitar, and me on guitar or non-pedal steel. It's not like it's the one with the Fender, the leg, and it was great. But I quit that band to join the Koch, so which I don't know.
Anyway, y'all are going to show the Palace, but I got half my stuff still. Part of that.
The night that they gave me that guitar, Leo said, "This is a prototype, and if we decide to go into production,
oh no,
I'm going to run this through a bandsaw." Why? And this is after I played it for a second. I loved it. It was great. He goes, well, back in the 40s and 50s, we gave out prototypes of guitars and didn't think anything of it. And this was back in 1981. I mean, some of those guitars were worth $50,000. I'll be damned if I let that happen again. Now, I didn't quite understand that, but he had a real thing.
Yeah.
So that was an issue.
Yeah.
And I probably could have continued the relationship, but I was so embarrassed. So and the NAMM show came up, and I got the directory, and I found the G&L booth. I avoided that whole booth. But I was turning the corner when it was connector hole, and I literally ran smack dab into Dale Hyatt. Now, Dale Hyatt was a big, square-shouldered, square-jaw ex-Marine drill sergeant. He looked like Clark Kent or Hank Hill, glasses, and I literally ran smack into him and kind of, Jeff, where you been? We've been thinking that you hate our guts. When he said that, I lost it. And I'm standing right there in the middle of the freaking NAMM show, bawling my eyes out. People are walking. Leon Russell in a wheelchair. Stevie Wonder with his entourage. Good thing he didn't see me. I've been telling the story.
It's embellishment. Yeah, that's hilarious.
And once again, I get the father Leon, who's from Ohio. And it's like the prodigal son returns. They all jumped up. And I'm bawling my freaking eyes out. And I said, Leo, I couldn't face you, man. I let you down. They just takes me over to another table with a guitar case on it. And he opens it. And it's I don't know if you remember the broadcasters, the black. Well, this was 003. So I mean, this is pretty much the guitar I told them they should make.
Yeah.
Well, they had to quit calling it the broadcaster. Do you know the story about Fred? Well, back when they made the broadcaster back in 49 or whatever it was, they got a call from Fred Brett saying, Leo, we have a drum set called the broadcaster. Now, Leo could have contested, but Leo, as gentleman, just said, okay, we'll change the name. So they came up with Telecaster.
Is that right?
So now they get a call from Fred Brett Jr. saying, Leo, we still have that drum set called the broadcaster. And he goes, all right. So they changed it to ASAP. Now, here's something about Leo. Leo would tell me stuff, and then I would see the same question in an interview, and he would have a different answer for it. He told me that the reason why he sold Fender was because he had this massive sinus infection that he almost died, and he went to some specialist doctor that gave him a massive dose of antibiotics that could have killed him. It was really touch and go. But he got better. But he had already sold the company. He was still on as a consultant. But I saw it in print. I've seen 2 or 3 different things. You know, so I don't know about him sometimes. But, and I would go down to the shop, and it was a sprawling, like, industrial strip, you know, and he had, like, 3 or 4 runners. And I was still bugging him about the retro stuff, you know. And I remember winding our way through these rooms and hallways. And I'm going, why can't you do it? And he starts going like this.
Stop. Where's the off switch?
You know, yes. Exactly. Finally, he turns around and he goes, look. In the first place, the wood that we had back in those days had been cut, dried, and stored 50 to 80 years. There's no way we're going to make a guitar that sounds like those old guitars.
Yeah.
And since that point, I thought, oh, gee, I pissed him off again. I just kind of let it go until the Bigsby thing.
Yeah,
which was a few years later. And that, you know,
I'm gonna have to find out about Bigsby's. That's for sure. That's a different story.
How's the Libby interview going?
Yeah. We were gonna ask Libby what she's going to be doing with the rest of the tour. It would seem that you're going to be listening to. What a treat. He's not even eaten yet. He's hardly finished his whiskey.
Yeah, you have to keep it down a little bit. Diners here.
Yeah,
Sir.
So that was us. We're in the Havelock. We're in the Havelock with Tremolock, Libby Koch, and Michael O'Connor. Libby will come back. We're having a hurricane party. The weather's closing in here and there. We'll come back to you and we'll do what's happening next with Libby Koch here on IMTV. But listen, anybody that has a guitar friend that plays or ever has played a Fender, and you're listening to this now, please share that. There's the background and the history of Fender guitars. In half an hour or so here at the Havelock Hotel in Nairn with Jerry Ross. I'm just signing off. People are here. But thank you, Jerry. That was an extraordinary trip through the history of guitars and Fender guitars with Jerry Ross. All right, guys, we're out of here.